Ranting a trash fiction, getting struck by lightning I got ice-eyed. Transported right into the body of a spineless male lead. The kind who gets his spine snapped blocking a disaster for CEO, Ice Queen, only to get slapped in the face for his trouble. In the original novel, he gets turned into meat paste saving her from a half-ton crystal chandelier. Watching that arrogant woman about to sign her contract, I laughed. Save you? Keep dreaming. I sprinted forward and kicked her right in the shin with full force. Crack! She screamed and pitched forward, landing directly under the chandelier. A split second later, the fixture crashed down. Looking at her bloodied face, I dusted off my pants. My bad. Slipped. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Late at night, in a cheap rental apartment, my roar at the phone screen was loud enough to shatter the hallway lights. My name is Jax Wilder. Like the name suggests, I'm wild. 30 years old, professional debt collector. In this screwed-up society, I have one rule. Never talk when you can throw hands, and never use a fist when you can use a heavy ashtray. But right now, I was losing it. Because I had just finished reading a web novel called Stop Being a Human Shield. Ex-wife begged for mercy. Yes, it's a real story. I wrote it. Check it out if you want. Smack. I slammed my cracked phone onto the sofa. I felt a fire in my chest that I just had to spit out. Pointing at the air, I started ranting. Does this protagonist, Ethan Cole, have a hole in his brain? Huh. This isn't gratitude. This is masochism. A purebred submissive wouldn't take this crap. I lit a cigarette, my hands shaking. Let me break down this dog-water plot for you. The story opens with the male lead acting as a human shield for his so-called CEO wife, Victoria Stone. A half-ton crystal chandelier falls, and he blocks it with his flesh and blood. The result? He's half-paralyzed, covered in gore. And what does the woman do? She slaps him because his blood stained the carpet and calls him bad luck. He endures this for 5 years, blocking 365 minor disasters and 81 death flags, turning himself into a walking corpse, only to be swept out like trash by the Stone family in the end. Fine, it's a tragedy, it's angst bait, I can tolerate it. Later, the male lead meets the heiress of the Sterling family, Serafina Sterling. I thought this was the redemption arc, the true heroine. But the ending reveals she's the heir to a succubus bloodline. She kept the male lead for 5 years, even married him, just to slaughter him like a pig on their wedding night and drain his luck. And the most ridiculous part is the system. The good karma system is actually an ancient parasite. It sucks the male lead dry and mocks him for being an idiot. And that pitiful adopted daughter, Candy, is actually a GM observer. So the whole book is a virtual sandbox experiment. The male lead dies in the end, and the author writes an epilogue thanking Subject 001 for his contribution. This isn't just feeding the readers crap. This is holding their heads underwater in a septic tank and asking if it tastes salty. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. My heart was pounding, blood rushing to my head. If I were this male lead, I would have wasted every single one of them in the first chapter. Victoria Stone, Serafina Sterling, they can all go to hell. Blinded by rage, I shot up and kicked the humming computer tower next to me. ZZZZT. Maybe I kicked too hard, or maybe the second-hand case was leaking current. A blue arc of electricity shot up my leg. Agony. Paralysis. In the last second before my consciousness faded into darkness, I flipped a middle finger to the sky. God, you thief, if I get a do-over, I'm going to be the maddest dog in the yard and bite these bastards to death. Transmigrating into the melodramatic male lead ding warning. Host attention required. Guillotine, curse, energy detected ahead. Target, Victoria Stone. Countdown, 3, 2, 1. When the emotionless mechanical voice rang in my brain, I snapped my eyes open. I was standing in a corner of a gilded ballroom, clutching a blackened rag, wearing a cheap suit that was a size too small. The air reeked of expensive perfume and red wine. In front of me was a crowd of high society types dressed like human beings but acting like peacocks. In the center of the hall, a spotlight hit a woman. She was wearing a pure, white haute couture evening gown, her neck stretched like a swan, wearing that reserved smile that made me want to punch her. Memories flooded in like a tidal wave. Ethan Cole's memories and Jax Wilder's soul had officially merged. Victoria Stone. I'd recognize that face even if it were burned to ash. She was the heroine from that trash book who treated the male lead like a dog. I looked down at the rag in my hand, then at the woman in the distance. I had traveled into the book, and right into the most suffocating scene at the beginning, the signing ceremony at the Ritz-Carlton. According to the original plot, right now, the half-ton Swarovski crystal chandelier above Victoria Stone's head, affected by the guillotine curse, was about to fall. And the idiot original host, Ethan Cole, under the coercion of the system, would rush over like a lapdog, block the disaster with his back, and receive a resounding slap in return. The system in my brain was still chattering. Warning. Guillotine, curse activated. Host hesitation has caused a critical situation. Save her immediately. Countdown 2 seconds. Failure to save will result in a deduction of 5,000 luck points and a level 1 lightning strike penalty. The corners of my mouth split open in a hideous grin. Save her? I'll save your grandma's bow-legged cat. A second ago, I was dying of rage in my apartment, and now you want me to be a simp? Keep dreaming. Watching Victoria reach out to sign the billion-dollar contract, I moved. But I didn't rush over tragically like the original host. I slammed the rag onto the floor and roared. Move! Everybody get the hell out of my way. This shout was full of power, carrying the menacing aura I'd cultivated from years of debt collecting. It scared the color right out of several socialites holding champagne nearby. Victoria heard the noise and turned in shock. When she saw me charging like a mad bull, a flicker of disgust crossed her eyes. Ethan, what kind of crazy are you? She didn't finish her sentence. I was already in front of her. According to the book, I should hug her and expose my back to the chandelier. But I didn't. Using the momentum of my sprint, I dropped low for a standard slide tackle. But I wasn't tackling a soccer ball. I was tackling Victoria Stone's shins, currently perched on 4-inch Jimmy Choo heels. See ya. Crack. A crisp sound. Bone meeting hard leather shoe. Victoria let out a scream like a slaughtered pig, completely losing her balance. Originally, she was standing slightly off-center from the chandelier. If I hadn't moved, she might have just been hit on the head. But my kick didn't push her away. Because of the angle, it tripped her forward, planting her face down perfectly directly underneath the chandelier. The posture was practically a prostration awaiting death. Almost in that same second. Boom! The crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling finally gave way, crashing down with apocalyptic force. Bang! That's... The massive impact shook the floor of the entire banquet hall. Crystal shards flew everywhere like a violent rainstorm. Of course, as the heroine with absolute plot armor, Victoria wouldn't die. The main structure of the chandelier smashed into the empty space beside her, but the countless flying glass shards and crystal balls, along with a massive shockwave, gave her a solid bath. My face! My face! A shrill scream came from the wreckage. The room went deathly silent, followed by terrified screams. Oh my God! The chandelier fell. Ms. Stone, save her quick! A swarm of bodyguards and assistants rushed forward. I stood 10 feet away, dusting non-existent dirt off my pant legs. I pulled a crumpled Marlboro Red from my pocket and let it dangle from my lips, unlit. I watched as Victoria was carried out of the crowd. TSK, TSK. Tragic. The multi-million-dollar gown was shredded into beggar's rags, revealing large patches of blood-stained skin. The highlight was her face. Although not destroyed beyond recognition, the high bridge of her nose had clearly collapsed, and there was a large gash on her forehead from the glass, bleeding like a dye shop. This was the power of the guillotine curse. Without a human shield, she had to take it herself. Ethan! Victoria was propped up, her face covered in blood, her eyes spraying fire that wanted to burn me to ash. She pointed at me, her voice trembling. You did that on purpose. You kicked me. You actually dared to kick me. The surrounding guests looked at me with condemning eyes. Who is this guy? How can he be so vicious? Looks like the Stone family's useless live-in son-in-law. My God, not saving her, but kicking her instead? What animal? Facing the accusations of the crowd, I didn't panic in the slightest. I shrugged, looking innocent, and shouted loudly, Oh, honey, you've wronged me. I pointed to the floor. I saw the light about to fall, and I was panicked. I wanted to rush over and save you, but the floors in the Ritz are waxed too damn well. My feet slipped. I couldn't hit the brakes. Besides, if I hadn't kicked you down, that light might have smashed directly onto your skull. You should be thanking me for saving your life. Mad Dog tames the parasite. My words were delivered with such righteous confidence, even laced with a bit of grievance, that Mr. Smith, the European representative nearby, wiped his sweat and actually bought it. Oh, so that is it. This gentleman was rough, but he intended to save her. Kung Fu. This is Chinese Kung Fu. Victoria nearly spat blood. Saving her life? Kicking her directly under the impact zone is saving her life? You. Victoria's eyes rolled back, and she passed out from sheer rage. Quick, to the hospital. Ms. Stone fainted. The scene turned into a chaotic pot of porridge. I stood in the confusion, watching coldly. In my mind, the damned system's voice rang out again, this time full of anger and static. Alert! Alert! Host maliciously harmed the daughter of destiny. Behavior extremely atrocious. Severe violation of system rule number 1. Executing level 1 lightning penalty immediately. Duration, 10 seconds. Consider this a warning. I narrow my eyes, sneering cruelly. Here it comes. The trash system that PUA'd the original host to death. Want to electrocute me? I laughed internally. Fine, let's find a quiet place and have a chat. I slipped into the men's restroom on the first floor during the chaos and locked the door behind me. As soon as I entered the stall, a powerful current pierced my entire body. ZZZZT. Ugh, I groaned, every muscle going rigid. It felt like someone was taking a chainsaw to my nerves. Pain. Absolute agony. For 5 years, Ethan Cole was tamed into an obedient dog by this punishment. But I am not Ethan. I am Jax. I gritted my teeth, refusing to make a sound. Leaning against the partition, my hand shaking uncontrollably, I fished a bottle of industrial-strength toilet cleaner out of the janitor's basket. Then, I pulled out the cheap lighter I used for looking cool. Penalty ended. 10 seconds later, the current vanished. The system's voice carried a condescending tone. Host, this is the price of defiance. Remember, your life is given by the system. Victoria Stone is your god. You must. Must my ass. I cut it off. I unscrewed the cap of the cleaner, the acrid acid smell hitting my nose instantly. System, let's play a game. I spoke to the air, or rather to the bug in my brain. I know you're parasitic in my body. I don't know what kind of thing you are, but according to parasitic rules, if I die, you can't live either, right? The system fell silent for a moment. Host, do not entertain dangerous thoughts. Your death will indeed cause the system to detach, but the system can find the next host, while you will be completely obliterated. Oh, so finding the next host takes time, right? Needs energy, right? And a premium vessel like me isn't easy to find, is it? I chuckled a maniacal sound. Also, I'm guessing pain perception is shared, isn't it? When it electrocuted me just now, I felt a faint tremor deep in my mind. What do you want to do? The system's voice finally held a trace of wariness. Do? Just teaching you a lesson. I flicked the lighter. The blue flame danced in the dim restroom. Without hesitation, I pressed the flame directly against my left pinky fingernail. Sizzle. The smell of burnt flesh wafted up instantly. The piercing pain would have made a normal person scream. But I just grinned, eyes bulging, staring dead at the fire. Ah! A scream exploded in my brain, absolutely miserable. It wasn't my scream. It was the system's. Stop. Stop it. It's hot. It hurts. The system's electronic voice cracked, turning into a sharp insect-like screech. I knew it. This thing is afraid of pain, and it's more afraid of pain than I am. Is that all? I didn't stop. I increased the flame. Let's try something more exciting. I picked up the bottle of heavy-duty toilet cleaner and made a move to pour it into my mouth. One bottle of this, and my esophagus, stomach, and intestines will rot. That corrosion pain should be 10 times better than burning a finger, right? What do you say, system? Don't. Dad. Daddy. Grandpa. I was wrong. The system completely collapsed. It had never seen such a crazy host. Previous hosts would kneel and beg for mercy after a little shock. This lunatic burns himself and wants to drink drain cleaner? Don't drink. Do not drink. If his body breaks, I'll take heavy damage too. Stop. I held the bottle at my lips, asking coldly, gonna shock me again? No more shocks. Absolutely no more. Still wanting to be a simp? No more. You are the boss. You make the rules. Can I drain Victoria Stone's luck? Yes. You can drain it. As long as you're happy, suck her dry. Only then did I release the lighter and toss the cleaner back into the basket. My left pinky was burned black, stinging like hell, but my heart felt incredible. That's better. I shook my hand, fixed my messy hair in the mirror, and flashed a ghastly pale smile. From today on, change your name. Don't call yourself the Good Karma System. It sounds unlucky. From now on, your name is Lucky. The system responded tremblingly. Yes. Lucky acknowledges. Also, activate Plunder mode. I've taken 5 years of crap. Now I want it back with interest. Plunder mode activated. Current target, Victoria Stone. Detected host is in a state of extreme rage. Plunder efficiency increased by 200%. Good. I pushed open the restroom door and strode out. Stone family, I'm coming back. Hope you're ready for the mad dog. Bad luck plagues the ex-wife when I returned to the Stone family villa. It was already 10 o'clock at night. It was a luxury villa halfway up the hill, not quite the top-tier Olympus estate, but it had some status in Los Angeles. I pushed open the heavy carved door. The lights were on, but the atmosphere was as depressing as a funeral parlor. My mother-in-law, Martha Stone, was sitting on the leather sofa, holding a plate of sunflower seeds, shells covering the floor. Her harsh face was full of anxiety and rage. Seeing me enter, Martha jumped up like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. "Ethan, you damn jinx. You have the face to come back." Martha pointed at my nose and screamed. "Victoria is still in the hospital getting stitches. The doctor says her nose bridge needs to be reconstructed. What are you doing? Did you kick her on purpose?" "Huh." Saying that, she grabbed the crystal ashtray on the coffee table and hurled it at me. According to the original plot, the male lead should kneel, crying and explaining he slipped, let the ashtray smash his head, and then pick up the seeds one by one on his knees. But watching the flying ashtray, my eyes went cold. I didn't dodge. I reached out and caught the heavy crystal object. Thud. Solid catch. Martha froze. "This waste. Dare to catch it?" "Mom, you're getting old. Don't get so worked up. You'll have a stroke." I casually tossed the ashtray onto the priceless mahogany coffee table. Bang! A loud noise. The thick tempered glass top cracked like a spiderweb. Martha trembled in fear, dropping the seed plate. You. She pointed at me, fingers shaking. "Are you rebelling? That's Victoria's favorite table. It cost $8,000. I slowly walked to the sofa, sat down, and propped my feet up on the cracked table. $8,000? For this broken glass? Terrible quality. You definitely got scammed." I looked at Martha, my eyes carrying a chilling banditry. "Also, Mom, I just got out of the mental hospital. The doctor says I have severe mania and violent tendencies. Can't handle stimulation. Especially the sound of dogs barking. You were barking too loud just now. My brain was buzzing, almost lost control of the knife in my hand." Saying that, I pulled a fruit knife I bought at a hardware store on the way back from my pocket and started peeling an apple. The blade flashed. The long peel came down in one unbroken line. Martha looked at the gleaming knife, then at my expressionless face, and suddenly felt her throat go dry. "This waste. Why is he like a different person? Where did the doormat go?" "You, don't try anything. I'll call the police," Martha shouted, sounding fierce but weak inside. "Call them." I bit into the apple. "While you're at it, tell them how you've abused me for 5 years. With the scars on my body, a forensic exam should get you a cruelty charge, right?" Martha went completely silent. She knew the Stone family owed Ethan a lot. If it blew up, where would their reputation go? Just then, the sound of a car came from outside. Victoria was back. Supported by 2 bodyguards, she walked in with difficulty. Victoria looked absolutely miserable. Her entire face was wrapped in gauze like a mummy, revealing only eyes and mouth. Her leg was in a cast, limping as she walked. The once arrogant female, CEO, now looked like a wounded soldier fresh from the battlefield. Seeing me sitting on the sofa, eating an apple like a king, fire instantly sprayed from Victoria's eyes. "Ethan!" The shout pulled at the wounds on her face, making her hiss in pain. "Get out! Get the hell out! This house doesn't welcome you." Victoria pushed the bodyguard aside and grabbed a vase to throw. But she forgot her leg was injured. As soon as she exerted force, she lost balance. Ouch! She pitched forward, performing another classic faceplant. And this time, unluckily enough, her face hit right on the edge of the coffee table I had cracked. Crack! I thought I heard the sound of the newly set nose bridge breaking again. "Ah!" Screams echoed through the villa. "Oh my, Victoria!" Martha rushed over like a madwoman. "Why are you so careless?" I sat on the sofa, didn't move a muscle, just shook my head helplessly. TSK, wifey, why bother? I told you the table quality was bad, but you insisted on testing its hardness with your face. "Ethan, I'm going to kill you." Victoria lay on the floor, tears and snot flowing from pain, soaking the gauze. Ding! Detected extreme resentment from target Victoria Stone. Looky tip, activate luck plunder. Can overdraft her next 5 years of good luck and convert it into immediate bad luck critical hits. In my mind, Lucky's sycophantic voice sounded. I sneered internally, suck her dry. Make her the queen of bad luck. Command received. Plunder beginning. The next second, a weird scene unfolded. Martha struggled to help Victoria up and tried to give her water to calm down. Victoria took the cup and took one sip. Cough, 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 cough. She suddenly coughed violently, her face turning liver-colored. What's wrong? What happened? Martha was terrified. Choked into the windpipe. Victoria rolled her eyes, feeling like her lungs were exploding. Even drinking cold water clogs the teeth. That was the feeling. Finally catching her breath, she tried to sit down. Twang! The spring inside the leather sofa under her, but suddenly snapped. A sharp steel wire pierced through the leather and stabbed right in her rear. Ow! Victoria launched into the air, clutching her butt and hopping around the living room. What is wrong with this sofa? We bought it yesterday. Martha was about to collapse. It wasn't over. A large mosquito, seemingly from nowhere, wobbled in front of Victoria. It didn't bite anywhere else. It landed precisely on her exposed eyelid. Slap! Victoria instinctively slapped it. The mosquito died, but she used too much force and slapped her only remaining good eye swollen. Watching this comical scene, I finally laughed out loud. Ah, wifey, with luck like yours, it's a pity you don't buy lottery tickets. I stood up and stretched. All right, seems the feng shui in this house is bad. Too much negative energy. I'll go sleep in my utility room. Avoid catching the bad luck. I swaggered toward the storage shed in the yard. The doghouse the original host had lived in for 5 years. Behind me, the despairing wails of the stone mother and daughter rang out. The charlatan swallows the bead and reveals true form early the next morning. The courtyard got busy. A black stretch Lincoln pulled in. One of the biggest villains in the book, the charlatan who had Victoria completely under his spell, Master Julian Void, finally made his entrance. I watched through the crack in the utility room door. This guy was dressed to the nines, white tang suit, folding fan, gold-rimmed glasses, looking all ethereal and sage-like. But my mad dog eyes saw through everything. His forehead was dark, his body reeked of dead rats, clearly a result of long-term contact with dark artifacts. Victoria. My Victoria. As soon as Void entered and saw the mummified Victoria, he started an Oscar-level performance. How did it come to this? I was only abroad for a few days. How did you get so hurt? Seeing Void, Victoria looked like she saw a savior, crying aggrievedly, Master Void. It's that Ethan. That Jinx hurt me. You have to avenge me. Don't worry. With me here, no one can bully you. Void comforted Victoria, then pulled a sandalwood box from his chest. This is a 9-eyed Z bead I specially requested from the Jokhang Temple in Tibet. It was consecrated by a living Buddha, capable of blocking 100 disasters and suppressing all evil. It's priceless, but my heart is only with you, so I give this bead to protect you. He opened the box. A dull, grayish bead lay inside. According to the book, this bead wasn't a Z bead at all, but a grave good dug out of a corpse, heavy with necrotic energy. After Victoria wore it, her life force would be drained. This was step 1 of Void's pig fattening plan. The original host tried to stop it and got scolded like a dog. Now, I kicked open the utility room door and walked out. Yo, good stuff, I yelled, walking quickly into the living room. The 3 people inside jumped. Ethan, what are you doing here? Get out. Victoria had psychological trauma, seeing me now. I ignored her, staring straight at the bead in Void's hand, eyes shining. This is the legendary 9-eyed Z bead. TSK, this patina, this texture, definitely an old piece. Void paused. He thought I would cause trouble or question him like before, but I was praising him. He adjusted his glasses, smiling smugly. Seems Mr. Cole is also a man of culture. Too cultured. I dashed in front of him, and before he could react, snatched the box. Such a good item. Giving it to Victoria is a waste. With her luck right now, she'd shatter anything she wears. If she broke it, wouldn't that be a waste of heavenly treasure? Yo, what do you want? Give it back. Void panicked, reaching out to grab it. I dodged sideways, tossing the bead in my hand. Master, since this bead is so spiritual, it must be full of Buddha nature. Buddha said, if I don't enter hell, who will? I see your forehead is dark, Master. Have you been having nightmares lately? Neck feeling cold. Void's face changed. I hit the mark. People who play with dark artifacts always suffer backlash. Nonsense. I cultivate my character. Evil cannot invade. Is that so? Dare to prove it. I held the bead, smiling brightly. Such a treasure. It's a pity for you to keep it. Why not? Use it right now. Use? How? Orally, of course. My face suddenly dropped, the playful look vanishing, replaced by a fierce hostility. I stepped forward, my left hand clamping onto Void's jaw like an iron vice. MMPH, what are you doing? Let go. Void was a charlatan who only had a sharp tongue. He was no match for me. He struggled, but under the grip strength I built from collecting debts, he was like a chick. Master, they say poetry in the belly creates grace, but a Z bead in the belly makes life harder. Eat it, and you can become a Buddha on the spot. My right hand held the thumb-sized bead and shoved it ruthlessly into his open mouth. MMPH. Void's eyes nearly popped out. I gave him no chance to spit it out, punching him right in the Adam's apple. Gulp. With a muffled sound, the corpse oil-soaked bead was forced down his throat. Cough, cough, cough. Cough. I let go, and Void felt his knees clawing at his throat, trying to vomit it up. But it was a dead man's object. Once inside the body, it took root. Almost instantly, Void's face began to change. His ruddy complexion turned pale, then a deathly gray. Cold. So cold. He rolled on the floor, clutching his stomach, convulsing, spitting black foam. The necrotic energy was attacking his internal organs. Master Void, what's wrong? Martha screamed. Murder. Ethan is killing people. I stood aside, clapping my hands, looking innocently at the twitching Void. Oh my master, what's wrong? Is the bead unclean? Wasn't it consecrated? Why the reaction? Guess your faith isn't devout enough. Or maybe it's actually a harmful object. I looked coldly at Victoria. See that? That's the treasure you wanted. If I didn't feed it to him, the one lying on the floor in a few days would be you. Victoria stared blankly at the foaming Void, then at my cold face, her brain in chaos. That bead really had a problem. Aren't you calling an ambulance? I kicked Void's butt. Any later, and the master is going to meet the real Buddha. 10 minutes later, the ambulance wailed in and took the break-dancing Void away. The villa was in chaos. I took the chance to slip into the master bedroom, Victoria's room. Not for anything else, but to take money. The original host gave all his salary cards to Martha. He only had $500. That won't do. I need money to leave this novice village. I expertly opened the safe. Don't ask how I know the combo, original memories, and took out stacks of cash, about 2 or 30 grand. This was a fraction of what the original host earned in 5 years. I shoved the money in my pocket, found the marriage certificate, and tore it to shreds. Lucky, let's go. I called out internally. Host, where are we going? Lucky asked cautiously. Where? I walked out the gate, looking at the gloomy sky, a smirk on my face. To the antique district, we're going to find that succubus heiress. Heard she's rich? Perfect. I need an ATM. I don't want to stay in this stone hellhole for another minute. Once I level up, I'll come back and wipe this nest out. I left the place filled with the original host's blood and tears without looking back. Behind me, the villa faded into the distance. The story of Jax Wilder was just beginning. Auctioning the luck-suppressing sensor for a sky-high, price-pocketing the 30 grand I swiped from the stones, I hailed a cab straight to the city's antique heart, the old market. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't there for culture. I was there to go fishing. According to the plot, this is the key point where Seraphina Sterling makes her entrance. The original host, Ethan, would use his semi-awakened spirit eye to buy a mudclod for $500 at an unnoticed stall. Then, in front of Seraphina and her dying grandfather Arthur Sterling, he'd peel off the mud to reveal a Ming Dynasty Schwanda sensor. The sensor contained National Destiny Purple Chi, perfect for saving the old man's life. So, the original host gave the priceless sensor to the Sterlings for free, earning Seraphina's favor and starting his life of being kept like a pig. Heh, is that pathetic or what? I spat internally. Give it away? I'm broke. I'm selling this to her. For a sky-high price. This is robbing the rich to feed the poor, my poor. Arriving at the market, I went straight to the corner stall. The vendor was a shifty-eyed middle-aged man pretending to inspect goods with a magnifying glass. I spotted the mud clod tossed in the corner, looking like a broken cat bowl. Boss, how much of the broken bowl? I squatted down. The vendor didn't look up. That's a Ming Dynasty horse trough. 5 grand. 500. I slashed the price. Selling or not? If not, I'm walking. Need an ashtray. The vendor paused. He bought that junk for $10. Fine, fine. You look like an honest guy. Take it. I threw 5 bills at him. Just as I grabbed the clod, a scent of perfume drifted from behind. Here she comes. Even though she tried to hide it, to my thought radar eyes, the succubus scent was overpowering. Sir, please wait. A cool, pleasant voice rang out. I turned. A woman in a Chanel suit was helping an old man in a mouse suit walk over. Seraphina Sterling. Have to admit, the woman was top tier. Pale skin, beautiful long legs, a cold temperament hiding a subtle seductiveness, like a black rose with thorns. This was the ultimate boss who made countless readers scream, wifey, but ended up sucking the protagonist dry. She looked at the mud clod in my hand, a glint in her eyes greed. Sir, the item in your hand catches my eye. Would you be willing to part with it? Seraphina smiled, polite but condescending. According to the script, I should act cool and say it's for the destined one, and save the guy. But I just weighed the clod and smiled like a merchant. Part with it? Sure. I shoved the clod toward her. 10 million. Take it. Serafina's perfect smile froze. Old man Sterling froze too. Even the stall owner dropped his jaw. Kid, are you robbing a bank? That's a horse trough. Shut up. I glared at the vendor, then turned to Serafina. Ms. Sterling, right? I see your forehead. No, I see more money than brains written all over you. I bought this for 500, selling it to you for 10 million. Reasonable, right? Serafina took a deep breath, maintaining elegance. Sir is joking. This looks like not buying. I raised the clod, pretending to smash it. If you don't buy, I'll smash it for the sound. I hate bargaining. Makes me violent. Don't. Arthur Sterling spoke suddenly. He was an expert. Although he couldn't see the purple chi, the inexplicable heart palpitations told him this was no ordinary item. Serafina, buy it. Serafina gritted her teeth. Looking at my roguish face, she was probably cursing my ancestors. The script was wrong. Shouldn't he be a hermit with a pure heart? Why is he a thug? But for the purple chi, which she needed for cultivation, she had to endure. Fina, 10 million. Serafina took out a black card. Password is 6/8. I snatched the card, pocketed it, and shoved the dirty, unpeeled clod into her hands, wiping the mud from my hands onto her multi-thousand-dollar suit. Thanks, Ms. Sterling. No refunds. I turned to leave. Wait, Serafina called out. Since Sir can see this item is special, you must be an expert. My grandfather is ill, good sir. Not treating him. No time. Gotta go home and bring the laundry. I didn't look back. But I see you're rich. You have lots of houses, right? I just got divorced, nowhere to stay. If you really want to thank me, lend me your Cloud 9 estate. Serafina froze. Cloud 9? That was the king of villas. She just bought it. How'd he know? But thinking about it, this was the perfect chance to pen the pig. Since Sir asks, it is my honor. Serafina's eyes flashed with cunning. The doors of Cloud 9 are open to you. I sneered. Want to keep me? Fina. Let's see who tears whose house down. Eating soft rice the hard way, exploding lungs with rage that night, carrying a plastic bag containing my spare underwear, I swaggered into the Cloud 9 estate. The place was nice. Located on the peak, overlooking the harbor, private pool, helipad, gold-plated toilet. Sir, this is the room prepared for you. Serafina had changed into loungewear. Conservative, but the silk clung to curves that were heart-stopping. She led me to a guest room. No need. I pointed to the massive master bedroom, facing the ocean. I'll take this one. Good feng shui. Serafina's smile stiffened. That is my room. Oh, well, it's mine now. I threw the plastic bag onto the $1 million custom bed and sat on it to test the bounce. Okay, a bit soft, but passable. You go sleep in the guest room. Change the sheets. I don't like the smell of other people. Serafina's knuckles turned white on the door handle. She had never been kicked out of her own room. But for the grand plan, to fatten this true dragon, she endured. Okay, rest well, sir. She said it through gritted teeth. Over the next few days, I activated ultimate mooch mode. Serafina tried everything to please me, mostly to lower my guard and nourish my luck. Morning, the butler brought an Italian handmade suit worth thousands. I looked at it. Fabric's nice, absorbent. Then I threw it in front of the bathroom door as a floor mat. Noon, Serafina sent a limited edition Ferrari key. I took it and drove Uber Black all afternoon. Because I was rude, insulted passengers, and made them push the car, the multi-million-dollar car got banned from the platform and made the news. Mystery tycoon drives Ferrari for Uber just to humiliate riders. Evening, Serafina looked at the Ferrari with a scrape paint job, heart bleeding, smiling. As long as Sir is happy. It's average. Chassis is too low. Speed bumps hurt my back. Get an SUV next time. I tossed the keys into the fish tank. Serafina took a deep breath. Time for the ultimate move. Midnight. I was playing mobile games, score 0-10, flaming my teammates. Knock knock. Come. Serafina entered holding warm milk. She went all out. Translucent black lace nightgown, barely their fabric. Wet hair, emitting a strange fragrance, succubus pheromones. Any normal man would have a nosebleed. Mr. Wilder. Her voice was bone-softening. She walked to the bed, leaning over, cleavage right in my face. You're still awake? I heated some milk, helps with sleep. She handed it over, fingers grazing my hand. The original host would have fallen for it and been drained. But I didn't look up, tapping the screen. Put it there. Serafina wasn't giving up. She sat on the bed, thigh touching mine. Mr. Wilder, it's a long night. Don't you feel lonely? She breathed into my ear. I twitched, and my character got nuked. FCK. I slammed the phone down and glared at her. Serafina rejoiced. Finally a reaction? She moved to fall into my arms. I recoiled, pinching my nose. Hey, Ms. Sterling. Do you have body odor? Her smile froze. W what? I said you stink. Like old fox musk. I fan the air. Too strong. Did you drink cologne? I'm dizzy. I lost that match because you gassed me. Serafina turned to stone. Body odor? She's a succubus. That's charm scent. Also, I pointed at the milk. I am lactose intolerant. I drink that, I explode. You want me to crap on your expensive bed? Take it away. Get out. Close the door. Don't let mosquitoes in. I picked up my phone. Serafina stood there, shaking from rage. She, the goddess, accused of BO, and kicked out. Good. Very good. She crushed her teeth and left. Slam. The door shut. I looked at the door and sneered. Playing Tales from the Crypt with me? Check what breed of dog I am. Lucky, watch her. She's up to something. Host. Is this wise? She's a succubus. What if she forces it? Force? She dare not. I lit a cigarette. My luck isn't ripe yet. Like a melon. Forced picking isn't sweet. She's a gourmet. She won't eat until it's perfect. But since you want to play, let's play big. Social death combo the next day. Serafina appeared at breakfast with dark circles under her eyes. She looked at me with a trace of venom, quickly hidden. Mr. Wilder, sleep well. Great. Dream a fox was chasing me, and I kicked it flying. I mumbled through a mouthful of Wagyu sandwich. Veins popped on her hand, holding the fork. By the way, sir, she took a breath. Since you live here, I thought, could you help me with a small favor? Here it is. In the plot, she uses business rivals to test the male lead's power. Spit it out. Who needs beating? 3 companies are targeting a project. She produced a file. The owners are superstitious. Can you check their feng shui? Got it. I snapped my fingers. You want them to have bad luck? Yes. Easy. I leaned back, eyes closed. Lucky work time. Here, Dad. Orders? Check the 3 bosses. Arrange a supreme social death package for each. Roger. Customizing. I thought for a moment, smiling wickedly. First, Mr. Vance. Has a press conference? Sphincter failure. Massive projectile diarrhea. Publicly. Second, Mr. Price. Where's a toupee? Make it fall into the hot pot and get fished out by a waiter thinking it's trite. Third, Mr. Summer. Loves the loyal husband image? Accidental screen share. His secret folder. Nothing illegal, just weird. Like furries. Received. Bad luck generating. Sent. I opened my eyes. Done. Huh. Serafina blinked. That's it? No dichuas. I'm a god. Mental killing, get it? I stood up. Watch the news. Also, I want shark fin soup for lunch. 2 hours later, the business world exploded. Headline 1, shock. Tycoon Vance explodes at press conference. Front row reporters baptized. Picture of Vance clutching his pants, brown stains visible. Headline 2, hot pot horror. Prices toupee mistaken for tripe. Video of a bald head shining and a waiter holding a hairball. Headline 3, social death. Mr. Summer streams special interest folder to boardroom. Serafina sat in her office, stunned. This is feng shui. This is a curse. A dirty, shameless curse. She looked at me picking my teeth on the sofa and felt a chill. What is this guy? His methods are dirtier than a demon's. How's that, Ms. Sterling? Satisfied? You are amazing. Good. I stretched. I'll accept the luck from these 3 companies then. Ding. Plunder success. Luck plus 3,000. Host luck. Fortune, violent version. I felt the warm flow. Building happiness on others' misery. Feels great. Beggar wedding banquet shocks the city while I lived like a king. My ex-wife Victoria was suffering. Having her luck overdraft, she was a walking disaster. Contracts failed, factories burned, stray dogs chased her. That night, Serafina and I went to a 3-star Michelin restaurant. At the door, a ragged figure knelt before our car. Ethan. It was Victoria. In days, she had lost her CEO look. Dirty bandages, matted hair. Ethan, save me. She cried. I was wrong. Void is a fraud. Only you were good to me. Come back. She reached for my pant leg. I stepped back like dodging a virus. Serafina frowned, about to call security. I waved my hand. Oh, ex-wife? Looking rough. I look pained. Hungry? Look at you. Victoria saw hope. I knew it. Take me home. I'll treat you well. Home? No way, my dog needs space. I cut her off. I turned to the waiter. Go get the bag from that table that just left. The waiter paused, but obeyed. I took the fancy bag, squatted, and handed it to Victoria. Victoria, I'm sentimental. These are Michelin star bones. High-quality Wagyu. The golden retriever at that table didn't finish them. Eat up while it's warm. Victoria stared at the bones. Cleanly gnawed. You want me to eat this? She looked in disbelief. You treat me like a dog? Tisk, watch your mouth. Dogs aren't as unlucky as you. I shoved the bag into her arms. Eat or don't. Ms. Sterling, let's go. The smell is ruining my appetite. I pulled Serafina away. Behind us, Victoria screamed and smashed things. In the car, Serafina watched the mirror. She felt strange. This man is ruthless to the woman he loved for 5 years. Does that mean his kindness to me, barely visible, makes me special? This prodigal son, illusion made the succubus actually feel a desire to conquer him. Mr. Wilder, do you feel nothing for her? I blew smoke, looking at her sideways. Feelings? Ms. Sterling, I don't have a heart. It was eaten by dogs 5 years ago. All that's left is a bad temper. So don't love me. But if you give me money, I'll treat you like a queen. Serafina. Succubus reveals form on wedding nighttime flu. A month passed. I turned Cloud 9 into my redneck paradise. Dug up orchids to plant onions. Raised carp in the infinity pool. Serafina's blood pressure spiked, but the harvest day was near. She sensed the golden dragon, actually the gluttonous worm, in me getting fat. Soon. Late night, Serafina looked in the mirror at her glowing back tattoos. 3 days. Wedding night. I'll eat you whole. Meanwhile, next door. Luck, 99999 plus worm evolution, 90%. Lucky. Yes, Dad. Is the fox getting impatient? Yes. She's prepping the swallow dragon spell. Wedding in 3 days. Wedding. I rub my chin. Good. Tired of soft rice. Time to hunt. 1,000-year succubus. Tastes better than monk meat, right? Dad, you mean? Set the table. My eyes flashed gold. Let's teach these villains a lesson. Swallowing sky dragon soul breaks the void, Mr. Wilder, I think. We should get married. Breakfast, 3 days later. Serafina stared at me with love. I sprayed lobster meat everywhere. Cough. Mary. I looked at her. Ms. Sterling, you crazy? We met a month ago. Serafina wiped the shrimp off her face, smiling sadly. I know it's sudden, but I'm serious. She walked over, hand on my shoulder, scent invading my nose. I feel your fiery heart. My grandfather wants to see me settled. Only you are worthy. So, marry me. She knelt, producing a pigeon egg diamond ring. The script flipped. 5 million, she corrected. Sure. I pocketed the ring. I am shallow. I follow the money. Serafina hid her disdain. Great. Wedding day, after tomorrow. Fine. But I plan the wedding. I like it grounded. No problem. Beating God in the laboratory 2 days later. The Ritz-Carlton. The style was wrong. Instead of luxury, it looked like a beggars' union meeting. My retro wedding. Greeters were homeless guys in rags, paid $200 each. Red carpet was green plastic turf with plastic flowers. Music was a rural funeral band, playing a mournful tune. Serafina, in a $1 million dress, looked ready to kill. This is grounded. Endure it, miss, the butler whispered. I know. I walked on stage in a $50 red suit. Below sat elites, mixed with beggars, eating aggressively. Quiet. I tapped the screeching mic. Today is my big day. Thanks for coming to eat. I know you think I'm a mooch. Correct. I am. Ms. Sterling insisted on marrying me. What can I do? The crowd gasped. Serafina walked up, faking sweetness. Honey, you're funny. She pinched my arm. Ouch. I pulled away. The officiant? Master Julian Void, fresh from the psych ward, drooling. Bow to heaven. We bowed to air. Bow to husband and wife. We faced each other. Wifey tonight. We play hard, I whispered. Her eyes flashed green. Don't worry, hubby. You'll be in heaven. Truth in the cage, the ceremony ended. We entered the wedding room in the villa, decorated in red, smelling of soul-confusing incense. Click. Door locked. Serafina turned, gentleness gone, replaced by hunger. She ripped off her veil. Finally, she walked toward me, dress falling to reveal purple succubus armor. Tattoos glowed. Ethan, do you know how hard it was to tolerate you? You vulgar waste. But it doesn't matter. Once I eat you, I become immortal. I lean back, smoking. This mask off? Can we have some romance? That face causes ED. Id. She sneered. My incense paralyzed you. Your soul is fading. She pounced, straddling me. Open wide. Let me taste. She lowered her head, fangs bared at my neck. Just as she struck. Lucky. Bite her. Mad Dragon unleashed, the ultimate battle sizzle. Ah! A scream tore through the villa. I had shoved the burning cigarette, but directly into her open mouth. Ah! I sat up, eyes clear. How are you not drugged? Serafina spat the butt, tongue blistered. I'm a succubus. That's 1,000-year incense. God! I grab her neck, lifting her. Sorry, I'm not a god. I'm a mad dog. Mad dogs don't fear drugs. Let go. She struggled. Eat me? Pay up. I'll take your essence. What are you doing? She felt it. The gold dragon in me was actually a black abyss. Alert. High energy source. Lucky requesting meal. Granted, a black worm shot from my brow, turning into a black hole over her head. Seraphina screamed as purple lights streamed from her into the hole. She aged rapidly. In minutes, the goddess became a withered hag. Devour complete. Luck plus 500,000. Trait acquired. Succubus body. Charmax. Lucky evolved. Sky swallowing dragon soul. Burp. Lucky became a black dragon shadow. I dropped the hag. She wasn't dead yet. Tastes average. I wiped my hands. Now, Ms. Sterling, let's talk about the truth of this world. Before I could interrogate her, the room shook. Space vibrated. Wallpaper peeled to reveal void. The chandelier became code. The window showed static snow. What is this? Warning. World logic error. Core NPC Seraphina damaged. Plot collapse. Unknown intervention. Force correction. The door vanished. White light shot in. A little girl walked out. Pink dress, one-eyed ragdoll. Candy. Number XY001. You deviated from script. Devoured core NPC. Violation of containment rule 73. Who are you? Observer 07. God of this world. She raised the doll. Red light filled the room. Executing format. Restarting world. Space compressed. Data chains wrapped around me. Pressure worse than gravity. But I laughed. Format. Restart. Screw you. Lucky. Eat. I bit the data chains. It's all energy. The dragon soul roared and devoured the code. Impossible. Candy panicked. You want to delete me? I rewrite the script. I charged, grabbing her doll. I remembered the finger burning. Flick. I flicked the holographic girl's forehead. That's for Ethan. Then I crushed the doll. Crack. The world collapsed into darkness. Darkness, endless darkness. Weightless. But I didn't faint. My will was steel. Lucky. You dead. Squeak. Dad. I'm here. Upgraded. I can see outside the wall. Outside. Suddenly, light pierced the dark. Hum. I gasped, waking up. I was shirtless in a massive, white, futuristic lab. Metal floor, shadowless lights. In front of me, a 50-foot one-way mirror. Behind it, people in white coats, holding tablets looked at me in terror. Warning. Specimen XY001 breached virtual barrier. Entity awake. Quick. Tranquilizers. Where is Observer 07? Chaos outside. I looked down. My body was perfect, glowing with gold. Residual energy from the sandbox. Beside me lay a real little girl. Candy. Unconscious, holding a broken doll. This is the real world. I grinned, a smile filled with the rage of the cage. Knock, knock. I tapped the glass. Doors unlocked, right? Let's chat. Fire. Open fire. A supervisor screamed. Ceiling turrets dropped, lasers locking on my head. Hot, tot, tot. A rain of bullets. I didn't move. Lucky work. Looks tasty. The black dragon shadow rose, swallowing the bullets like water. That's it. I shook my head. Weaker than foot water. I clenched my hand at the ceiling. Down. Crunch. The turrets were ripped out and crumpled into scrap. The scientists froze. What power is that? Reality warping. Run. They scattered. The supervisor tried to hit a red button. Going somewhere. I punched the glass. Crash. The unbreakable glass shattered. I stepped through, grabbing the supervisor's wrist. Don't die yet, Chief. Let's talk about the script. I'm a federal researcher. Researcher. I grabbed a tablet showing my file. Dragon's son-in-law script. Nice writing. Self-insert. It's orders from above. Which above? Snap. I crush his wrist. Quiet. Tell me the truth. Or end up like the scrap metal. After some physical persuasion, I got the truth. The Red Dust Cage. A massive facility containing thousands of observation rooms, each holding an anomaly like me, living out apocalypses, empires, sci-fi lives. We were batteries producing source power via emotion. I was XY001, the strongest, the only one with Devour. So raising us like pigs? I kicked the supervisor away. Lucky, can you access other rooms? Yes, Dad. I can chew through the firewalls. Good. Open them all. I pressed the broadcast button. Testing? Hello, fellow protagonists. I'm Jax Wilder, the Mad Dog. I declare, prison break. Lucky. Open the doors. Click, click, click. Thousands of doors opened. Protagonists woke up. Jedi, mages, cultivators. Waking up angry. The base turned into a chaotic battlefield. Chaos, absolute chaos. Explosions, magic, cursing. Who wrote the script where I get cucked? D. A barbarian hacked at scientists. I watch from the window. Dad, where to? Outside. I turn to the waking Candy. You ruined everything, she said. The world needs Source. Not my problem. I picked her up. Let's see the real world. We marched to the exit, the path cleared by angry protagonists. Boom! The blast door fell. Real sunlight. Not a wasteland, but a cyberpunk city. A massive army awaited us. Tanks, mechs. Surrender. You are surrounded. I put Candy down and crack my neck. Surrounded? I looked behind me at the army of gods and demons I released. Brothers. Here. The shout shook the earth. They want to cage us again. Agree. No. Kill them. Then. Attack. I charged. Lucky. Ultimate form. Roar. A dragon blotting out the sun rose. War began. But this time, I wasn't alone. Story complete.